How long until Ulf changes teams?
How long has Baela mourned Jace?
We've got two new possible couples in this episode. Which one of these relationships will end in pain and horror and fire and disaster? And which one will just end in a horrible, grotesque childbirth scene?
Why not both? We'll answer all those questions and more on this episode of The
Joffrey of Podcasts.
Very busy. Many important matters require a king's attention. I'm king now. King now. I am king. I am king. I am kiss it. I am kiss it again when I return. Your fingers or your king doesn't fingers discuss your battle plan. Stupid girls. Your fingers or your tongue. I am the king. I'm telling mother.
Welcome to the Joffrey of Podcasts. My name is Bubba, and with me, as always, is Catfish.
Bubba, it is a pleasure to be joined by someone whose greatest battle has been with his own indigestion.
It was a bad fight. It was a butcher's ball for sure. Guys,
bad fight.
We are breaking down season 3, episode 6, entitled Faceless Men, while Rhaenyra and Daemon focus on how to best deal with Ormund. Tensions among their neglected allies begin to erupt. On this podcast, we're always going to play our classic match games. We're going to talk about the highlights and lowlights from Team Black and Team Green. And by popular demand, we're going to have a very short book club section at the very end after your feedback. It's not going to be too spoilery. In fact, depending on your definition of spoilers, it's not going to have any spoilers at all. But we are going to talk about the books and look at how this show is going to end in the only 10 episodes remaining that will remain.
Did you say there are 10 episodes remaining?
Remaining, yes. There are only 10 more episodes, and this show is over.
I think, I think you keep saying 10, but you mean something different. How many episodes are left, Bubba? Twice you've said 10.
2 this season, 8 next season.
Oh, okay. I see how you're doing that now. Okay. I got it. All right. Only 2 episodes left in season 3, 10 episodes left. Bubba, this is exciting.
It is exciting.
We are together.
Real quickly, we want to do Give It To Me Dungeon Crawler Carl. New achievement. Guys, we're going to be real quick about this. We were in YouTube the other day. It said, wow, you've had 2.1 million views in your entire career. And then I went today and it said, oh, you have 2.2 million YouTube views in your YouTube career. We've had over 2 million audio downloads for our audio podcasts across all our shows. We want to thank you, listeners. You guys have helped us succeed. And so from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for being double L's.
Double L's.
Loyal listeners. Thank you, guys.
I keep forgetting that. I love it, Bubba. All right, well, let's get into it because as we always say, we want you to join the discussion. You're the third through 2,200,000th person to be joining with us. So we always ask for your feedback on YouTube, on Instagram, on Blue Sky, on X, whatever you've got. Give us your feedback. But Bubba, before we get to our feedback tonight from our listeners, and we've got a lot of them, we're going to give our rating. So I'm going to start first, Bubba. I am going to give this episode 7 out of 10, what we all know as triple T's.
Triple T's?
Yeah. When your tyrant king asks you whether they're a horrible person and you have a real hard time giving a response, then you are obviously tongue-tied Thailand. And Thailand, this was Bubba, I think his and then Thailand's, well, I think people could probably say all of us. We do good things, we do bad things. That was Bubba, I think for House of the Dragon. I think that was the funniest bit we've ever had on House of the Dragon. It also, speaking of funny, Thailand's brother from another mother, I'm still not convinced they're not the same actor. Ulf also has some funny bits. These people are saving the show, the comedy on the show. After Ormund had 3/4 of an episode of fun until he went full MWRA, Bubba.
MWRA?
Make Westeros Ramsay again. We've got Daemon is losing his S blank blank T. And Bubba, speaking of losing, our boy Adam lost out to Alan for Baela. but I think George R.R. Martin is salivating over the possibility of what we call a brother, half niece three-way. Bubba,
Yeah.
I know that it's not really repetition here of stuff we've seen, but it feels like a lot of wheel spinning in this episode. And so that's why I gave it 7 out of 10 and ranked it fairly low. Bubba, I know that you are always much gentler than I am with ratings. I'm sure you had no problems with tonight's episode and are going to give it a 10 out of 10, Bubba. So hit me with your 10 out of 10 and your double.
Catfish. I'm going to repeat a lot of points that you made, including I'm only going to rate this 7 triple Bs out of 10.
Wait, triple Bs?
Well, you just said it. It's a Bela brother battle. Bela is putting these brothers against each other, and they're her uncle. Hello. I feel bad going 7 out of 10, but to me, being a very tough critic, because I'm a tough critic because season 5 has been great. And so compared to the other episodes, to me, this was a 7. Maybe compared to other shows, this would be rated higher. But compared to itself in season 3, this is 7 out of 10. Now, there's the old saying, the famous saying, the sum of the parts is greater than the whole. This was the antithesis of that. Many great individual scenes and moments. Criston's death I loved. Gwaene's hero moment I loved. Rhaenyra's offering the small folks thoughts and prayers when the equivalent of young nun has been taken by some thugs. That's ice cold. Daemon's brutal takedown of Ulf. You know I'm team Ulf, and I don't want him to be treated this way, but dang, that was a tough, intense scene. But a bunch of scenes didn't work for me. I don't think it's repetitive, Catfish, but what I would say is, once again, this season has been so great. In episode 3 of this season, season 3, we had that incredible outburst from Corlys when he found out Rhaenyra wasn't going to allow his 2 sons to be legitimized. And the passion and anger of that was powerful. It woke up the scene and the show. And I'm not saying every scene has to have that, but I think every episode needs to have a moment that powerful. Maybe for other people, the Criston Cole death was, but it was made to show that Criston didn't go out in a blaze of glory.
It was not heroic at all.
Right, and that's kind of the point. And so,
and even Alan's ice cold moment to Corlys, was beautiful, but it was very pithy. Right. So it wasn't like a huge moment.
Right. It was true to Alan's character. Alan is, kind of reserved. He's an internal character. And so when he snapped back and he's telling his dad, well, how long did it take for you to recognize me? That is a great comeback. But to me, once again, great scenes. We're going to celebrate those great scenes. It just didn't equal the highs that this season has hit. We don't care what we think. We want to know what you think. Go out on YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you to all those YouTube listeners who got us 2.2 million views so far. Go down in those comments. Tell us what you thought. Tell us where you agree with us. We love it when you tell us when you disagree with us. And we've got some great feedback from listeners who, just like you, disagree with us. If you're on audio podcasts, downloading the Joffrey of Podcasts from your favorite audio podcast app, reach out to us on social media at PHQ. We want to hear from you. And to make it up to you that we've been a bit tough on this episode, let's begin this podcast, Catfish, the way we begin every podcast, with some positives, with some oh hell yeses, by talking about the best scene, our favorite moments in this episode. You went 7 out of 10, so what do you got for your best moment?
I'm telling Mother.
Bubba, it's a positive, but also a negative because of you, because as you said, there were no other big scenes. And I just have to grab onto what I'm still claiming is the funniest non-Dunkin' Egg Game of Thrones universe scene. Tyland's tongue-tied response.
Catfish,
that was just amazing.
How long did poor Tyland try to get some word salad out there? It was hilarious the longer it went. And maybe everybody can relate to this, where you say something and then you're like, well, I gotta put a nice edge to that, and then it just gets worse and worse and worse, and you're trying to find an end so you can get out. It was brilliant. What I think was even great about it was that it was a great character moment for Aegon. He was like,
Yeah, you're right.
Larys was willing to tell me, the king, the absolute truth in his opinion the previous week. Tyland, you don't want to go to Essos. Will you give me the exact same truth? And Tyland equivocates. And so Aegon, at the end of that, he's like, let's go to Essos. Great moment, great scene. Not so great burial site for Janos.
Well, listen, I mean, Tyland makes a good point. He's like, listen, you want to get in here and dig? And Larys is like, let me use the favorite part of my body to push this guy into this not deep at all grave, my foot.
Oh, naughty. Right. Getting one on the way out there, Janos. Way to go. Catfish, my favorite scene. I've already mentioned it. Ulf. If you're somehow new to the Joffrey of Podcast in season 2, I hated Ulf. I was like, this drunk bum is coming to my castle. He's going to put his feet on my table and act like he owns the place. I flipped the script. I am Team Ulf. We're actually going to talk about Ulf a whole lot in this episode. So I just want to say that his hilarious stumbling, Tyland Lannister kind of, how am I going to say this? How I'm going to say this? I'm just out taking the air. Oh my God, hilarious. But then the brutal beatdown by Daemon. Oh my God, that Daemon is doing more work for Team Green in some of these scenes than he is for Rhaenyra. And what he did to Ulf, it can only make Team Green happy. And we saw that little girl who's like a spy for Team Green. She saw that. Not good, Daemon. Terrible. Great scene, but terrible.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the questions we asked up at the top. It is clear that Ulf isn't long for being treated like this.
No, but we're going to debate that later on. Let's get to a match game about our boy Ulf.
I'm telling Mother.
You know, I think he only has 2 scenes in this episode, but he is starring in them, and he's the star of our match game. Catfish, you ready for match game? Question 1. Listeners, get your answers ready, and I better get the bell ready based on these questions. Okay. Ulf just wanted to go to the tavern and get a drink. Instead, he got blank.
Yeah, let him think.
Catfish, Ulf just wanted to go to the tavern and get a drink. Instead, he got
a double A.
A double A?
Aegon alimentation. That is, he got to eat just like Aegon did. A little dirt on the ground. All right, Bubba, I'm going to read it for you now. Ulf just wanted to go to the tavern and get a drink. Instead, he got
punch.
Okay. All right. Okay, I see where you're going with that.
The punch. He got the drink.
Oh man, I'm just Gene Rayburn. Well, just dropping his head. All right.
Well, our listeners come through. Even if some of these answers are what you would call mid, because it's so ice cold, they're actually all brilliant. So you ready?
All right. I'm ready.
Ulf wanted to drink at the tavern. Instead, he got
a one-way ticket to Pain Town. That's Caro Yoso.
Oh my goodness. He wanted to drink and instead he got
to smell the glove. That's a Spinal Tap callback from Mr. Bill's Mafia.
Ouch, how tough. Okay, he wanted to go get a drink. Instead, he got
a double T.
Wait, a double T?
Targaryen tap, an excuse for a second helping of a future double T.
A double T future? What?
Treasonous turn.
Oh,
that is Nick Fortuna. Nick not looking to make a match, just looking to show off, and he did.
I know, Nick, let's be honest. Nick, write to us and tell us where you live. The match game, I'm pretty sure, is still being produced. We need to get Nick on it. He is the best. He is the best. Oh, but once again, actually, I'm looking at some of these upcoming ones. Really good. Nicole at Knife Wolf Nim said he, instead of getting a drink, he got tumbled. Tumbled on. Oh, my goodness. How about Ash said? Ash said it.
All right, he said,
Blue Sky.
Ulf just wanted to go to tavern and get a drink. Instead, he got
publicly humiliated. It's true. It's funny because it's true. Dennis said, hey, Ulf wanted to get a drink. Instead, he got
a royal public tune-up.
Shirley, we love Shirley. It's oh my God, this is going deep in book lore here. He wanted a drink. Instead, he got trashed by his half-brother.
Oh man, Link Hogthrob, this is a good way to do it.
Oh,
All right, Ulf just wanted to go to the tavern and get a drink. Instead, he got a fist sandwich.
You know, you want to eat when you drink. And then, of course, Batman gave him a different type of food group. He said he got, instead of a drink, he got a knuckle sandwich. Hey.
Ring the bell, ring the bell. And Orange Cane at Blue Sky said instead of a drink, he got B-slapped.
Yeah, hello. And you think, now, wait a minute, we shouldn't say the B word anymore. But then our friend Camille, Campshay23, said instead of a drink, he got bitch-slapped. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and Joanne Robertson said instead of a drink, he got knocked the F out.
And then another great listener we love. We're going to have to get, you know what? We're going to have to get the Uncle Q against our good buddy Nick in the match game in real life. Because the Uncle Q said instead of a drink, he got a bitter taste in his mouth. Oh man. Goes to the pub and gets a bitter taste in his mouth. Ouch.
All right. I love it. All right, Bubba. That was fabulous. Now, unfortunately for the listeners, you have to hear us talk again. So, Bubba, let's run down these teams.
All right. So, Team Green, everybody on YouTube will know that Catfish and I are wearing green. I've always been on Team Green, and I'm wearing it for RIP Criston Cole. Catfish, are you also wearing green because you love Team Green now?
I mean, if you're asking me that I love that Criston Cole died, you're absolutely right.
Hater. Criston and his men march through the woods. They come upon an old Tully camp, they believe, but somebody's killed these Tullys, except a bit like Evil Dead. These Tullys don't stay dead. They come back, and it is a fight, man.
Bubba, I can't even believe this, because first of all, they had to stay there for a long time, because they got scouted.
Yes.
The scouts came back and said something weird happened, and I'm like, what weirdness could have happened? I don't understand. And it's not till they're among them that they give them the stuff. So let's give it to the Rivermen for being able to stay calm and peaceful.
Yeah, imagine if Oscar Tully comes up to you and it says, okay, I want you to grab 2 bodies over there, drag them over to this area. Let's make it look like a campsite. And you're going to lay next to these 2 dead bodies for days, possibly, until Criston Cole comes up. You're willing to do that, aren't you? Well, me lord, I said you're willing to do it. That wasn't a question. Whoa, yeah. And then for all their suffering of playing dead, they got to really play dead because Criston Cole went ham on these guys, killing them. Catfish. Whoa, realm's greatest warrior.
He sure did.
He lived up to it. He was.
He sure did. He had a very successful 15 minutes.
Well, wait. All right, Jim. I think in the first round, Criston Cole did great. Did you see him with that mace, Jim? He was doing great. I gave it 40 to 50.
Holy
40
cow.
To, yeah. So,
well, the ref should have called it there, Jim, when he took a mace to the face.
Yeah, so Criston, he's so happy, he gets up and he leads the men in the high tower words. We light the way. That's our house words. Like winter is coming are the Starks' house words. And that was about as good as it got for Criston, because pretty soon he's surrounded by a giant army. Criston, once again, listeners hate him, people hate him. But did you at least not respect? He's like, hey, what if we strike our banners and you can do what you want with me. Will you allow my men to live? And Oscar Tully, this little friggin' teenager's like, no, I'm in my goth phase, and so I need some bones. You can't live. Criston then is like, hey, how about we fight? I'll take on 2 of yours, and I'll die in an awesome fight. And he takes out Alicent's handkerchief, wraps it around his sword.
Yep,
Catfish.
beautiful.
He is doing it. He's ready to go out in a blaze of glory.
It's going to be heroic. Someone's going to send Alicent's handkerchief back to her, and she's going to be like, wow, amazing. What a guy.
There are going to be songs about, hey, I went out fighting for my lady's cause. And all of that is true from a certain point of view. He did go out fighting for his lady's cause, but the specific actual moment he went out, he was not fighting so much as, waiting, talking. And a character who the show has never mentioned. They showed her in episodes 1 and 2. They showed her, and she sang a bit in episode 2 when Daemon and the crew were singing there after their victory over the Lannister Lions. But Black Allie, she was waiting in the woods. So it wasn't even like Criston Cole could focus on his enemy. Somebody hits him and hits him real good.
No, somebody killed him. What we would usually call in this kind of world, he dies in a cowardly fashion. Not that he was a coward,
right,
but that someone wouldn't meet him and just essentially just airs him out, I think is what you would call it. And Bubba, I gotta ask you, listen,
yeah.
You've read the books. I know that in some of the show's doing some things differently than the books, but you probably had an idea that Criston Cole was going to die. I was so shocked. I was like, he can't go out like this. I was stunned.
Do you feel like in the end, because he did do some reprehensible things, that he didn't deserve a hero's death? Or did you think, hey, these people are fighting for their cause. They're fighting for the people they love. Even if you've done reprehensible things, you're doing it because the woman you love, asked you to do it. So should he have had a hero's death? What do you think?
I mean, in the end, his speech from the last episode about, look, I've been essentially a pawn my whole life.
Yep.
And I'm going to go out my way, even though I'm going to go out my way still being a pawn for somebody, made it feel like he deserved a hero's death. But in a way, you're kind of telling your own story, him going down this way, that heroics don't matter, that nothing matters, in war. It's just sort of crazy.
I think that's a great way to say it, Catfish. A lot of A Song of Ice and Fire fans have noted that Criston Cole was one of George R.R. Martin's favorite characters. And why did he like him so much? Because in George's own words, and admittedly I'm paraphrasing it a bit, Criston Cole was like the best of knighthood and the worst of knighthood. He was like the best knight ever and the worst knight ever. You kind of saw that throughout the whole thing. They will. What's funny is people will say what you want to, but as it's proven, the history books remember Criston Cole. And so if he wanted to make, if he's like, I'm a son of a steward, I don't even, really have a great keep to go back to after this war. You're like, you rose up to hand to the king being a little steward, and now literally hundreds of years in the future, people are going to be remembering you. There are worse ways to go. And how about, and in your life, not only are you going to get to the second highest position to the king from being a lowly steward's son, you're also going to get to sleep with the queen and then sleep with another queen.
All right. I mean, in the end,
yeah.
I guess none of us go gracefully, Bubba. But this was certainly a lot less graceful than I thought he was going to go down.
Oh, man. I'm glad you were shocked. I think the show has been telling you he wanted to die. And then to do it at the beginning of the episode where, a lot of times somebody like Criston Cole, who's been here since the very first episode of season 1, maybe even within the first 10 minutes, you see Criston Cole, I believe, to go out like this, it's meant to be a shock. I'm glad you were shocked. Listeners, were you shocked? Excuse me. Go down to the comments and let us know. Let's leave that and let's go to a place where Team Green had a better time, I think we can say, and that is in Tumbleton. Gwaine has made it to Tumbleton, and Gwaine and Ormund are cousins, and they don't really like each other, do they? This is horrific.
No, Ormund once again shows that he has a very small box of things that he thinks are righteous and respectable. And it is a very, very small box. I think it's white dudes who hate dragons. Pretty much, I think that's it. Straight white dudes who hate dragons. Let's just be clear about that.
Right. And so he's trying to be, he's very cocky. He's saying Rhaenyra's a woman, she's squeamish. And of course, at the end of the episode, who's the most squeamish of all in that room? Ormund is. But at the time, he's like, listen, as Rhaenyra sinks in King's Landing due to our devious deeds, all the great houses will join our cause. And Gawain does a really terrible thing. He fact checks him.
Yeah, right
How
there
could you?
in the interview.
How could you? He's like, have any yet come? Now, I think Ormond could have said, well, the Lannisters are one of the great houses, and they've come and they've had their army slaughtered. So, yes, one great house has come. But oh boy, Ormond, once again, he is looking down at his cousin as he's sending him away. He's like, hey, make sure he bathes, because the one thing I don't like is stinky cousins. Ouch.
Right, and but the really the honest to God, the only thing that we learn new in this whole section is that Darren is as scared and dislikes Ormond as much as anybody possibly could. He's like, get me out of here. This guy is out of his freaking mind. But Bubba, Ormond is not regular tunes anymore. He is Looney Tunes.
Man, how is it that these chaff podcasts always give us the greatest things? That's 100% true. Now, Darren, you're right. We finally, because he has a scene where Ormond's not there, Darren really, we've kind of had hints of it, but we can really see who this young prince really is. Now, Catfish, I want you to speculate. Darren tells his uncle, Gawain, he's like, I'm never going to be king. Because Gawain was like, well, if you're king, you can kick Ormond to the curb. And right. Darren says, dude, I'm never going to be king. Is Darren right? You have not read the books. Do you want to make a prediction on this?
Oh, that is a great question. I mean, look, I believe that Team Ormond might be able to manage this. Okay. It seems entirely reasonable that he could. I give him 63% chance that Darren will be in the throne room on the throne for at least 24 hours.
Listeners, if you've not read the books, we want to hear your predictions. Again, on YouTube, go down and leave us a comment, like, subscribe. We want you on this harrowing journey of killing family members on this show. If you're listening to audio podcast at Double PHQ.
Bob, I'm sorry, because before I misspoke when I said that Ormond was only into straight white dudes who hate dragons. No, he's snootier than that. There are his kind of people and other kind of people. And apparently Corlys is his kind of people.
Because Corlys, let's be honest, Corlys comes from a noble house. He's not one of these lowly common men who are always scrambling to get ahead. And of course, you snicker because, boy, I remember the very first couple episodes of this show, Corlys was scrambling to get ahead. He wanted his 11-year-old daughter to marry King Viserys? He was scrambling. That gets interrupted by the worst type of guest, Catfish.
What kind of... Oh, yeah.
And do you think Ormond is more upset that they were stinky or that they were there to kill him? Like, which upset him more? Like these guys.
Well, I mean, you know what? I wonder, he did finally show Gawain some respect because Gawain knew some stuff that Ormond didn't even know. And so they end up just killing these poor suckers who we will talk about when we get to the other team, because these guys took a circuitous route to just get their asses handed to them.
Now, everybody hated R.I.P. Criston Cole's plan in season 2 to send the one twin to imitate his twin brother and kill Rhaenyra. That was an epic fail. Rhaenyra, just as smart as Criston Cole. She tried the similar trick, ended in failure. Great work by Gawain. Great work by John Roxton, who is the Brazos actor we always talk about, who pretty much his sword literally gave this guy longer legs, is maybe the way you could describe it. Oh my God.
You know what? He could have just the guy also could have just made up a Baratheon name. He had to say the name of a guy of somebody Gawain knew.
Right. Really terrible. Now it ends, and we'll get to some of these storylines. You're right when we talk about the other team, but here in Templeton, Ormond is kind of he's very hesitantly admitting, I kind of treated you poorly because we're still good, right? And in the courtyard, we see Darren. He's been trained. That kid can fight with a sword. So once again, I think things you would say are generally looking up for Team Green, maybe just because Gwaine is around and Ormond will have somebody to kind of wise him up. Hopefully, we'll see.
Yeah, although who knows how hurt Gwaine is going to be when he finds out about CC. Although
Oh, yeah.
he knew when he was leaving CC that that was the last time he was going to see him based on that.
Right. Right. The way that he's during the speech. I won't wait till Criston is done with his big speech. I'm going to leave during it. That's when you're like, okay, later. Team Green, we've already talked about it a bit because it was your favorite scene, Catfish. Do you think Aegon, Larys, and Tyland, it is the correct move to get the hell out of Dodge until, let all my siblings fight each other and kill each other and we'll come back later? Is that the right move? The one that Aegon seems to be contemplating?
I mean, it seems like a great move to me as long as when he gets back, he's able to convince people that he's actually Aegon because people have said he's dead. So if there's no one around to absolutely convince people, yeah, heck, that's him. That's exactly how he was cooked, medium well. Then you could
I ordered this well done. Oh man, yeah. Well, okay. Once again, very fun scene. As crazy as it was as a duo comedy team, Aegon and Larys, I actually think making it a trio, the Three Stooges here of Tyland, Larys, and Aegon, so far has been just as fun. So I'm excited about
Where
that.
was the Bubba? I can't even. I feel so bad, but I can't. I can't remember it. It was the three guys in this scene, and it was weird. I think it was when Tyland did something, and basically, Larys and Aegon were both just like, oh yeah, did an eye roll at the same time, and that was magical.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you remember way back when we still had balls in dishes at small council meetings, that the kid that Team Black killed of Helena's kid, he was there sitting in Tyland's lap and wanted to play with Tyland's ball, and Tyland was like, no, let's leave my ball in the dish. And the kid would pick it up and he'd be like, oh, terrible child. So yeah, maybe that's why Aegon will never listen to Tyland. Now I'm going to be honest. The next member of Team Green, the next member of Team Green, we're going to talk about. These scenes didn't work for me at all, and it's a bit crazy. You know how we talked about? I complained about Daemon and Harrenhal going on too long. The scenes feeling repetitive. There never felt like there was forward momentum. There is, I guess, some forward momentum here in Harrenhal with Alice Rivers and Aemond, but to me, there was something about it that I was not.
Well, I mean, basically, what she does, Bubba, is create a new portage. I can't remember the French word for when you combine two words together. But in both scenes, we used to have in the past sex and exposition, sexposition. Yep. And in both scenes between Larys and Daemon, we have basically she's being sexy, but also she's kind of giving him an inquisition. So this is a sexquisition.
Oh no.
Yeah, we've got two sexquisition scenes between Alice and Aemond that I think maybe you didn't like. She just has a weird way about her in these scenes that make them feel a little off. And maybe some people really dug that because she's being even more mystical in these scenes with Aemond than she was with Daemon.
Right. Like if she had these 5 dragon eggs with Daemon, why didn't she show him to him? Like, hey, if you give me Harrenhal, I'll give you 5 friggin' dragon eggs. Like there's some weird stuff going on. And also a bit like with Daemon here, what does Aemond do? Aemond wants to leave and kind of move forward in a story. And seemingly she's always like, well, you want to leave. Here's the reason why you shouldn't. Oh, it's another scene. Here, you want to leave. Let me tell you why you shouldn't. And so even though I love these two characters in general, and I love these actors, actually, I think they're both doing a great job. We're involved, or let me speak for myself. I'm involved and engaged in this war. And because she's specifically saying, don't go to the war, do this, which admittedly, I should point out, Aegon's doing, but maybe those three characters bounce off each other fun of, hey, let's not go to the war, let's go to Essos. But her, like, hey, stay here. I'll be, what did she say? I'll be the Lady of the Water, and will you be the Dragon Lord by my side?
And she's saying her sons, well, this is Bubba. Yes. I feel very bad because at the top, the two couples I was talking about.
Yeah.
Well, this is one of the couples, so I think that's right.
Okay, good. Very dramatic pause there.
I know. I was like, wait, did I forget this couple? No, this is one of the couples. All right, Bubba.
Okay, do you want to get to the last members of Team Green we're going to talk about this week? And it's the people who were prisoners, not only in the Red Keep, but in the secret passageway last week. It's Alicent and her daughter, Helena. Correct pronunciation. Keep me honest, listeners. This is just horrific. And Alicent, who the show I think wants us to love, is Alicent doing her daughter dirty. She lied to her daughter multiple times about, no, don't worry about your daughter, Jaehaera. She'll be with us as we escape. Miss Saria is going to bring your daughter to you. We've just got to escape now. Helena finds out that her mom is willing to lie to her repeatedly. This is not good. And Helena's like, I'm not going to eat. Just let me be, maybe she's becoming a bit like Criston Cole. Oh my God.
I know that there was a lot of things technically going on here that Alicent's now been given a job, but it just feels like this storyline is stuck in mud.
Well, they were stuck in the hole in the wall, already. It might be good, and admittedly, I don't know if they have time frames like months or a fortnight is 2 weeks, right? They could be like, it takes blank number of fortnights to have a child, but it'd be great to know how close poor Helena is to giving birth to this child. And Helena, thank you. Keep me honest. And this always messes me up on the show. We podcast about Severance because there's a Helena there. And I call her Helena. Everybody on that podcast hates me for it. And I should point out they just started filming season 3 of Severance today. So good work, that show. But yeah, this story, well, how about this? So the scenes are heartbreaking. I think that's true. I feel bad for Helena.
Dang
it. I feel bad for Helena. But how do you see this story going? I thought it was absolutely stupid. You've got a valuable prisoner, Rhaenyra, and you're going to send her out in the wild to hopefully kill her son, Aemon. This is preposterous. It is
preposterous. And now who do we have and babysit Helena, who's going to find out that she is pregnant and tell somebody else?
Yep.
I mean, look, Rhaenyra is not the best, but I do believe that. Listen, I believe that Rhaenyra in her heart believes that she would not kill Helena's child, no matter whether it was a boy or a girl. And I also believe in my heart that she might have to end up doing it or someone else will do it for her.
Yes, 100 times yes, Catfish. That's exactly the way this story feels like it's going.
So now it's dangerous to have Helena by herself. With whoever you're going to find out. And then whatever, we've got more stuff with Helena. I guess the only thing that's interesting here is that Alicent is able to interpret by Helena's stitching where the F Aemond is.
Yeah, well, she had said Aemond was in Harrenhal like the previous week. But actually seeing it in needlepoint, you're like, oh, okay, that's where, I get it now. When you said it, you meant Harrenhal. Okay. Alicent really does something which I think is horrific. She pulls a Ned Stark. If you remember the second episode ever of Game of Thrones, meaning season 1, episode 2, Ned Stark says to his bastard son, Jon Snow, he says, we'll speak of your mother when I return, when I next see you. And of course, what ended up happening, spoiler alert, they didn't really speak of his mother. ever again.
Ever again.
Right. And so Alicent, that's all that went through my mind when Alicent is with Helena and she's like, I will return to you as soon as I'm able. I give you my word. And it's like,
okay, but it's not that she's holding out, telling her anything.
True.
Like Ned was, which drives you crazy.
That's the vibe I got. That is the vibe I got. Like, hey, once I'm back, you and I and your daughter and your soon to be born child will be out of here once I accomplish this mission. And guess what? I have no faith that Alicent will be able to do. Accomplish this mission. So once again, that's why it gives me Ned Stark vibes.
All right, well, Bubba, let's get
I'm telling Mother.
the dirty word Ned Stark out of our mouth as my camera shakes because there's like maybe a very, very tiny earthquake that just happened.
Oh, really?
So something. So let's go to the Joffrey of the week.
Okay.
Which is magical. And Bubba, we have a nomination of a Joffrey of the week from our loyal listener, Pat Man. Pat Man says, just like Joffrey, whom evil Uncle Tyrion accused without evidence of killing people to protect himself in regards to Robert's many bastards, we see Mysaria deciding that after Rhaenyra discovered Helena was pregnant, Mysaria decided to bump off the maid who knew about Alicent and Helena's earlier escape attempt disguised as servants, an attempt that Mysaria had not told Rhaenyra about, which puts her in a bad spot. So basically, just Mysaria just playing this amazing long game to make sure that the world is protected as she sees it, Bubba. And I agree. I agree with Pat Man. Well, I agree, but I still this week I think I need to give it to Ormond.
What?
Yeah, he's just strong, and you know he's got a set of beliefs that he sticks to. He's a strong warrior, and nothing ever affects him. Nothing. So although I think Mysaria is a good answer, my Joffrey of the week is going to be Ormond. But Bubba, who is yours?
Wow. Well, Catfish, I'm going to do something that would never leave my lips. You would, if you were like, who is the one person Bubba would not give a Joffrey to, and it's this.
Well, we know it's not. We know that the answer is not Bubba because you gave it to yourself last week.
Every week. No, it's Rhaenyra. Queen Rhaenyra gets my Joffrey of the week, and you know why. What did Joffrey do in season 2? Surly Sansa Stark was being evil.
I think you got it right the first time.
I did. Sansa Stark was being evil, and so Joffrey was like, Sir Meryn, I don't like her clothes. And he had Sir Meryn rip the clothes off Sansa. And so you're like, that is such good justice. So what did Queen Rhaenyra do in this episode? These Baratheon men came up, and they were not doing what she wanted. And so she took their clothes, just like Joffrey. Good work, Queen Rhaenyra. Maybe I'll be Team Black because of that brilliant deductive.
Wow, amazing. Well, Bubba, what a great seg, because now
I'm telling Mother.
It's time to talk about Team Black. Let's hear it. What happened with Team Black this week?
All right, so when you say repetitive, I think I like these council scenes. I certainly like the 2 new members of the council being Lady Frey and Tormund Manderly. But this one, even though a goblet was thrown at Tormund Manderly's head, this one didn't sing to me. This council always fights, and I guess that makes good drama, and I like watching fights, but the fights are almost repetitive, right? We know Mysaria's goal, we know Daemon's goal, they're never going to match. So that's what gets repetitive about him. And Daemon, we also know that even though seemingly once a season he's going to bow his knee to Queen Rhaenyra and say, wife, I will serve and do exactly what you want to.
Just as in the prophecies, the prophecies show I will always follow you when I feel like actually doing it.
And so here, he's like, let's just burn Tumbleton. And she's like, I can't burn. But he's like, listen, the people of Tumbleton would just as happily follow a mule. Ouch. Ouch. Rhaenyra says, my dad wouldn't have burnt civilians. King, Aegon the Conqueror didn't burn civilians. My dad won it. And Aemon, as soon as he hears, oh, my dad won, he's like, aha. Oh, my God. This guy, why is he in the council? This sounds terrible. Do you kick your husband out of the council because he's just a pain in the gosh darn neck?
No, I mean, he's one of her most, I mean, I was going to say he's one of her most powerful allies.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, he's not really acting like her ally at all.
No.
So, but you can't kick him out though, Bubba. Remember, there was a period of time when she was like, "Is he going to go against me? Because if he does, I am screwed."
That's true.
So I would say keep your brother slash husband close, and
He's
your
uncle.
Keep your friends close.
Yes.
And your husband slash uncle closer.
Oh boy. Okay. Do you want to say anything else? Everybody disagreed with Daemon. Like, we are not going to send a dragon to Tumbleton. And do you want to predict, yes or no? Will they send a dragon and burn down Tumbleton?
Oh no, I don't think they will. Although, who knows? I mean, maybe maybe our boy will just decide that maybe Hugh's just going to decide, well, my wife's pissy with me, and so rather than go through a messy divorce, I'll just burn down the whole town. Now, the only thing I want to say about this council, and now that I'm thinking about it, I can't remember whether it happened on the council or afterwards, and maybe it was both. Alan is showing himself to be actually a pretty good advisor.
I agree.
This was a good choice by Corliss, even it was just because he was like, I am the F out of here. Alan's a good guy. How is he described? He's how does Bela describe him in her sexy voice? You're so reliable.
You're very dutiful. You're very
dutiful. All right. So anyway, he's dutiful. So that's the only thing that turns out to be different about this council. Everybody can now take their earrings out of the dish and put them back in.
Well, hold off. So we know the husband slash uncle, who really is not the greatest ally at all.
Let's just call her her uncle.
Her uncle has not told her the truth about Rhaena and Sheep Stealer and all that went down here. This week, it wasn't lies by omissions, but Mysaria, as Patman pointed out, flat out lies to the queen's face. Did you know about the pregnancy? Pregnancy? What pregnant? Oh, you mean the one you just... No. If your advisors are lying to you, oh boy. I mean, this is... Rhaenyra, just quit. Just retire. Is it called abdicate? Whatever you do.
That's called abdicate. Abdicate.
I mean,
we'll get to the later scene where Rhaenyra proves that she's not only great dealing with her council, but she's got a real light touch with the commoners.
Now she is doing the politics that Mysaria pitched when the common folk are like, hey, we don't have any tallow to make candles, like we're in the dark here, people. And she's like, listen, complain to Torrhen Manderly, he's the master of coin. Next. The people are like, well, what about the gold cloaks? And she's like, well, you don't have them. I've asked some Valerian men to come, but they're at least a day or two away. Oh boy.
Well, not just that, but people didn't seem to be very happy with Valerians
they did not.
Protecting them. So that is also not great. So the people were really, the rabble there's a lot of rhubarb in the room there.
How about this? While all of this is happening, SpaghettiOs, Rhaenyra cuts herself on the throne in a very similar manner to her father cutting himself on the throne. And do you remember what that little cut ended up costing him? Pretty much half his face. Oh my God, this is horrific.
Listen, I think it's just It's just a standard problem when you're sitting on the throne, Bubba.
Right, a throne that we see mice in all the time. Do you think you're cutting yourself on the throne and then getting the gosh darn black plague? Oh my god.
Oh, and then in the very last scene,
Yep.
it
Good
turns
news. Good
out,
news.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, really good news. Orwell brings the Ormond decided, let's let Rhaenyra know how her trick went,
Oh
and
boy.
that is the worst it could possibly go. So things are really looking up on this storyline, Bubba. So let's go to a storyline where things really are looking up positively. Daemon in the gold cloaks.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what? Hold on. People
Yeah.
always say there are no job openings. There are no job openings. The storyline begins with 25 open positions for the Gold Cloaks because they've been killed. And then Damon promises the current Gold Cloaks, don't worry, guys. I'm going to avenge your fellow brothers, even if it takes 100 years. And they're like,
The guys are like,
that
no, that
overtime?
I don't have that. Let's just say that the last time he gave them a speech, he really riled them up.
Oh, he
And I
did.
think that even though the speech is shorter, it is still has the same energy. And well, let's just say it gets the 180-degree reaction from everybody. They're like, how am I going to take care of my kids when A, I'm not getting paid, and B, I might be dead. So basically, they're just giving up the gold cloaks.
Catfish, you always talk about quiet quitting. What about loud quitting? Like, hey, I'm telling you, I'm quitting. I'm giving you my gold cloak. Later, loser. Damon even tries to shame Septa, the Septa
Yeah,
shame.
yeah, Septa
Shame.
shamed them. Well, the
Oh
problem
boy.
is he only said it once, Bubba. You've
And he
got to
didn't have a
say,
bell.
and
Where's his
Bubba, you got to
bell?
have the bell. Shame, shame, Bubba. Oh my God! Now listen, Damon's got a great. I mean, he's a good plan. He's
Yeah.
like, look, I'm very recognizable, but maybe if I just wear the gold cloak and I
Yeah.
tuck most of my completely blonde hair under my helmet, I
Sure.
can get someone to attack me and then I can get information out of them. Uh, so the first part of it works. And the second part is he just gets a basically like he doesn't catch somebody who is like halfway in on this deal, right? He
No.
catches a dang true believer, and this guy's giving him mystical stuff. We have no number. We're for everywhere. You can burn us. You can kill us. You can never make us embrace her. And so
Whoa.
Damon's like,
Whoa.
wow, this guy, you know, it'd be a real good thing to do with this guy. I got two options. A, let me torture him some more like we did the last
Yeah.
guy, and maybe I can
Yeah.
get some real information out of him. Or B, let me knife him through the damn ear and I won't get any more information out of him. And that is what happens. And Bubba, we got to talk about this separately.
Yeah. We're going to talk about it separately.
Damon's second mistake after doing this.
Oh my
All
God.
right.
Yeah, let's get to Alan and Corliss and just do them real quickly because you are right. Alan is coming in clutch. How about this? Is this a bad sign that Alan is the only one Rhaenyra didn't pick for her council and he seems to be doing the best?
You know, that is a good comment on her leadership skills, Bubba.
Listen, she should use Indeed, today's sponsor. No,
Well, you know what will happen, Bubba?
what?
Everyone will go to, have you heard of Glassdoor? Everyone will go to Glassdoor and
Yep.
they'll be like, no, working for Rhaenyra is horrible. You do not want to do this.
So Alan succeeds. I mean, at the very end, Corliss comes around. He's like, you know what, guys? We've been here. We've been killing Catfish's favorite characters, the Triarchy, but it is time to return to King's Landing. And guess what? It's time for me to return as well. And the timing is terrible for Corliss because look who has come up from Templeton. It's Ormond's right-hand man, bold John Roxton, and Catfish, is Corliss dead?
Well, Bubba, I sent you a text. I said, I can't believe they killed two main characters in the same episode. And your reply to me was, what the hell are you talking about?
Well,
So
yeah. I don't want to give book spoilers, but I guess by saying the truism of this show, if you don't see a blade enter their body and maybe multiple blades, you never know. So I think
Or arrows.
right, yeah, exactly. So I think I took it that Corliss that he might be missing a few pieces, but I
Okay.
doubt that he's dead.
Well, no, don't let's not forget there's one last piece of information here that is obviously important is
Yeah.
that Corliss tells Alan that Tywin Lannister somehow survived after going in the drink with that heavy army and heavy armor, and he made for Rook's Rest. So
Yep.
obviously this is a piece of information that Alan is going to, after maybe a little relaxation time, tell Rhaenyra.
Right, and Rhaenyra should act on that because what have you always said is one of her biggest problems? She doesn't have any money. So if Tywin Lannister's around, a Lannister and gold, get him, Rhaenyra. Let's go. So, oh boy, we've obviously got a lot of uncles getting with their nieces here, but this seems to be niece initiated.
Oh man, she goes towards him
whoa.
and he's like he says something like you probably should get you should get back to work. You need to do something. No, listen, and Bubba, I thought she had a spark
Oh yeah, with his brother.
with I thought he had a spark with his brother. Also, the brother and her, they can go on dragon rides together. Like,
Yep.
I don't get her being into Alan. And like I said, I'm still like, I think George R. Martin and I are on the same page. We're ready for this three-way.
I just wrote in the notes, poor Jace. I mean, the guy.
He gone, Bubba. He gone.
This is episode 6. He died in episode 1. So 5 episodes later, you're getting
Again,
busy
you don't
with
know how
another
long.
man?
You don't know how long it's been, Bubba.
Yeah, I do. It's been 5 episodes. Oh man, is Jace's body even been burnt yet? Don't they kill Targaryens in a fire? What if he's waiting for his fire funeral and his fiance is out here locking lips with her uncle? Oh,
Listen, she decided to start her own fire, if you know what I mean. And I think you
I
do.
do. You did. Yeah, you weren't too subtle. It's obvious.
Okay, great, great.
Hey, do you want to talk about a scene that did not thrill me too much, and that's Rhaena's constant misery? How did you feel about these scenes, Catfish?
All I want to say is, how many times does Lady Jane give people their last chance? Because I thought
Yeah.
Rhaena had she said, "This is your one chance," when she told her to get the heck out of my sight before, and now she's causing even more trouble. If people hear that the dragon's still around, they're going to come
Yep.
looking.
Yep.
She does not want any of this. Also, Rhaena is she's just looking tough.
I know cave life
Tough.
is
Oh my
not
God.
good for the skin, apparently. Holy smokes.
No, no.
Now, do you like Rhaena's like, let me tell you my life story. All I wanted was a dragon.
No, listen, I can
And
understand.
Lady
Look,
Jane gives no F's, man.
who would? Except for Damon. I understand
Yeah,
it
yeah,
with Damon, but Lady Jane, I don't know why she's just not like, look, just knife her now. That didn't make any sense to me. I'm tired of, Lady Jane, she's the girl who cried death and the woman who cried death.
Yeah.
But let's move on to some fun people. You like to call them the dragon seeds.
Yep.
I like to call them Hugh and Ulf
Yep.
and three-way boy Adam.
Oh, well, Hugh and Ulf have been given a very odd, kind of assignment. Before it was like, hey, hang out here near Harrenhal, and if you see Aemond, and his dragon Vagar, attack him. This assignment is just watch. Like they don't attack people going in and out of the city. They don't try to harass the city so much. It's just go there and watch and make sure the army doesn't move.
I mean, the only thing they're doing is, and I don't know whether it's making the people in the city
visual deterrent. Yeah,
city feel scared or like there's hope. But either way, it's still not doing anything as they fly around the city and are like, "Hey, there's dragons here." Great. but what the F are they doing? Ulf, man,
Oh boy.
Ulf starts talking about how this is so stupid. Like, listen, I mean, he has a good point. He was like, well, would you want to go back to the way you were? And Ulf's like, no, but this ain't any better, really, right now as we go. He's
Right,
like, I
right.
got a dragon. What the heck?
Well, Catfish, what's funny is you just saying it, you had a little pause in your voice. And to me, Hugh asking Ulf, well, do you want to go back to the way it was? Not all of it, but a good part of it. I think Ulf does want to go back. He does want to go back and be the guy hanging out at the tavern with his buddies, having a good time. No,
Well,
he's
no,
had a rough life, but
he wants the combination. He wants
yes,
to
of
go hang out
course.
with his buddies now that like it's like going to hang out with your old buddies once you hit the lotto. You're like, hey, look at me now. I'll buy drinks for everybody. Who's the big boy now?
Yeah.
It's Sir Ulf. Don't forget, Sir, please.
And how about this? So that's your work. So you have 2 days on, 2 days off. Your 2 days off, you're only allowed to go to a castle. It really blows. But and then when you go into town, Ulf, he broke his curfew. He was not where he was supposed to be, and he bumps into Daemon, and he calls him, and he's like, he rips Daemon a new one, not realizing it's Daemon, and then, boy,
Mm.
boy, boy, this Ulf tries to bond these guys. If you believe it, Ulf is their bastard brother. They don't know it, and I guess nobody can confirm it because Viserys and Daemon's mother is not alive anymore, or father, excuse me, is not alive anymore. But Daemon is an a-hole. You can't do this, man. And then don't hold him dead. You smack him because he's breaking curfew, but then don't put his feet down. I mean, hold with your foot, get his face in the dirt. Oh my God.
No, I already said this last week. They need somebody from HR to deal
Yes.
With Ulf, who's going to be like, "Hey, listen, I know how it is, bro," and then go say to Rhaenyra, "Look, these guys are like, we need. I know they're not like you don't want to treat them like royalty, but you got to treat them with a little bit of respect here. They got
Oh my
dragons now."
God. Oh my God. Okay.
All
So,
right, well,
let's leave Ulf because we've still got a debate coming up with Ulf. Let's get to you. You've got a more tenuous scenario at the start of the episode. He's watching a town filled with soldiers, and his wife is in that town.
And Bubba, we as viewers know that no matter what's happened to her before, she well, at least was in danger. Hopefully, she may not be in any danger anymore because Ormond made a public spectacle
right, right,
of the guy who did something to her, and then he made a private spectacle of someone else she was close to.
right, her brother. But let me say, this scene shocked me in that Cat, Hugh's wife, at first is real happy to see him, but then when she slowly realizes all the things that have happened to her while her husband's been off on some, his life's goal or whatever, but their daughter died. Remember, they had a daughter. She's dead. Her brother's dead. They didn't have any food. She moved to a new town. Apparently the journey to the new town was not good. Now her brother's dead. And Yu's like, here, come out of here with me. And she's like, well, what about what about the rest of the family? Hugh doesn't give a rat's ass, and this is horrific, Catfish. This is horrific. How is how about this? Even if you got her out, you said, hey, don't worry, Queen Rhaenyra is going to give us a place to live. Guess what? I bet Queen Rhaenyra has spent zero time working on.
Oh, okay.
Getting you a place to live. That's what I'm saying.
Glad you said it because I was going to answer that question wrong.
What would you have said?
No. I'm just kidding. Wow. This is at first I was really shocked, but I understand her point of view, but if she didn't think, well, you were just being all, hoity toity, because essentially he did risk his life for this to see if he could be a dragon rider. And she's essentially like, listen, I just wanted you and you wanted a higher purpose. But his point of view is, I wanted this for us. because our situation was real bad.
Yeah, I agree.
So, but yeah, that is it. It is not good, and he is going to have to get out of there. I don't know what's going to happen to Cat. This is bad news, Bubba.
This is terrible news. And after now that we've reviewed all the teams, Catfish, we do this every week.
I'm telling Mother.
Team Black or Team Green, based on this episode 6 of season 3. Oh boy, which team are you going with this week?
All right, Bubba. Well, I'm going with one of two teams.
Wait, well, okay.
Yeah, but not unfortunately, but fortunately, they're all they both have the same team title.
Oh,
I know it's odd. It's weird when two people in a show or in a league have the same team.
Yeah.
But both these teams are called Team Three-Way. So we either have Laris, Thailand, and Aegon, or we have Adam, Alan, and Bela. Bubba, you know what? I can't pick one, so I'm just going with Team Three-Way this week.
Listeners, we have hit a new low. Like you're like,
have we?
There's no way they could hit lower. But when you're given the option Team Black or Team Green, and you choose Team Three-Way, I have never in all my life, been so disappointed. And so for that, I will try to match you in that I'm Team Lady Jane Eyre. Why? Well, I like tall women. And number 2, she's as sick of Rhaenyra as I am. So for being as sick as Rhaenyra as I am going to be as high as honor and join Team Aaron. Lady Jane, I'm on your team. Let's roll.
I would have been on her team if she'd have thrown her out the window.
Oh, moon door.
I don't know. All right, Bubba, here we go. Yeah. Now we did our team of the week. Yes. Obviously, there has to be an MVP of the week. Does not need to be on the winning team.
No.
You know, sometimes
I'm telling Mother.
There's one person who's just winning so hard.
Yeah.
That they eclipse their team's performance. Bubba, we have got a comment from Carayoso.
Oh, great.
Who said, thanks for a really fun discussion about really great episode 5. I think the MVPs are the cats. We need the cats for Arya to emulate so many years later.
Hell yeah. I love
Bubba,
that.
who is your MVP of the week?
Well, Catfish, one person got to sleep in a feather bed for the first time in months and months and months and didn't have to spend the night in a tent with Criston Cole. Gwaine won the week, baby. MVP Gwaine Hightower. Alicent's brother, Prince Darren's uncle. Gwaine, you're my MVP of episode 6.
That is great that you have your own MVP. Bubba, you're wrong.
Wrong.
Obviously, it's Alan. First, I want to in detail the short but beautiful interaction with his father. Corlys says, you take her side, meaning Rhaenyra, when she refuses to grant you legitimacy. And Alan says, and how many years did it take you to do the same? So, Bubba, Alan, for giving wise advice, for ice colding his father, and Bubba, he gets the girl. I mean, literally the girl. So, Bubba, this week it's got to be Alan. He is moving up in the world, baby.
Great work, Alan. Bela is beautiful, so good work, Alan. All right, hey,
I'm
Catfish, we love dishing out karma as much as karma loves dishing out karma. Who is your instant karma or delayed karma of the week?
You tried to claim that this was that there was actually stories told about him, but I'm giving it to Criston Cole because I say no stories are told about a guy who gets treated like a shish kebab.
Man, shish kebabs are great. Read my shish kebab blog. Say shish kebab blog 3 times fast.
I refuse, Bubba.
Yeah, don't do it.
All right. Man, that is so good, Bubba.
I've got some instant karma this week. Ormund Hightower was talking smack. A couple minutes later, he was tossing lunch. He was throwing up his lunch. So for talking smack against my MVP, Gwaine Ormund, you got some karma. I love it.
Now, Bubba, I've got a question for you.
For me.
You seem to imply that you thought it was because those guys were so dirty.
Yeah.
Are you sure that it's not because he is squeamish when it comes to blood and fighting, and that is going to be a very bad habit to have?
No, come on. You heard Ormond say it himself. Women are squeamish, men are whatever the anti-squeamish is. Unsqueamish.
Uncaring mother.
All right, Bubba, it's time for the small council debate. Take
Yes.
your earrings out and put them in the dish. All right, Bubba.
Catfish, you asked the question, the very 1st question on this podcast. You have not read the book, so I'm going to try to hang back on this question. But your question was, how long until Ulf changes teams? So I want you to answer your own question, but I'm going to add that to it. If Ulf did change teams, hypothetically, and went Team Green, would you blame him?
Okay, that's the easiest question because absolutely freaking not.
Yeah.
He is not being treated with any amount of respect here. So listen, even though I think Ulf is a little bit of happy time bluster dude,
Yeah.
listen, he deserves to be treated better. Now the question is, will it be Ormond that he joins? No, because Ormond's against dragons. But
Yeah.
I think it will be Bubba. We have 2 episodes left. I say it's by the end of this season he changes teams in one of the last 2 episodes. There is no way he is going to stick with being treated like this. And Bubba,
Yeah.
I'm gonna clap for him when he does.
Heck yeah. Well, I would, again, because I've read the books, I don't want to answer this too much, but the one thing that I thought was very interesting, and actually all your answers were interesting, but Ormond not only doesn't like dragons, Ormond in this episode was attacking the common man. And what is Ulf, if not the common man? So you're right. Who could flip him? Like, do we know of a brewer who's Team Green? Hi there. Oh, the Fossaways from Night of the Seven Kingdoms. You know, this is said, about 100 years before in Night of the Seven Kingdoms, but some Fossaway comes by and he's like, "Hi, yes, I'm good friends with the Hightowers, and I'm delivering this cider to them." And Ulf is like, "Hello, giddy up, let's go, girl."
Do you need anyone to deliver your cider via dragon?
Right.
There'll be a small 10% ale charge for that.
Heck yeah, that would be awesome. Who could on Team Green, though? Yeah, well, I guess if Gwaine is, Gwayne's coming, rising up the ranks, could Gwaine figure it out somehow? Because Gwaine kind of had an anti-common man attitude in his very first couple of scenes with Criston Cole, but Gwaine kind of wised it up by being with the men. Maybe it is Gwaine. Catfish, interesting discussion points. Listeners, we've been talking so much and we haven't said it in quite a while. We want your thoughts. Go down in those comments.
Absolutely. Bubba, we've got some listener thoughts right here. We have got match game 2, Bubba, and I am so proud of you. I almost did this last week.
No.
You know this is you are skating on thin ice here tonight, Bubba, but I am proud of you. This is a double blank match game question.
Oh no.
I love these the best, Bubba. You have done it tonight. You are soaring like a dragon. But will you be like soaring like Daemon or like Aegon? We'll find out. Like Jace. All right, Bubba.
Yeah.
The question is, Sir Criston Cole fought with a handkerchief around his sword hilt and blank around his blank. Okay, Bubba, here we go. Sir Criston Cole fought with a handkerchief around his sword hilt and blank around his blank.
And arrows around his facial area. Oh, poor Criston Cole. Okay, Catfish, this is terrible. 2 blanks. Criston Cole fought with a handkerchief around his sword hilt and blank around his blank.
An arrow around his eye socket. Bubba, we match.
Heck yeah, all right. we haven't matched, I think, in a season or two. Wow.
And with a double too. All right, Bubba. Black-eyed Lily said he fought with a handkerchief around his sword hilt and a wall of pain around his heart. Oh, very, very emotional.
Oh, Black-eyed Lily. That's Susan Stacy. We love her. Carol Joso, oh no, went the other way rather than talking about his heart. She said, and he had a chip around his shoulders. Oh, his shoulder area.
All right, but here's somebody talking more about his wounded emotions than his body as well. He died with a wing and a prayer wrapped around his pride.
Ouch. Dennis, great answer from Dennis. Oh, we love at Revere Terry on Twitter, Mr. Bill's Mafia. He said Criston had arrows around his bodies, plus pushing wolves and fish around his corpse.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
and Nick Fortuna says
here we go.
He died with a handkerchief around his sword hilt and a tiny bow tied around his miserable storyline. The ending he deserved.
Oh, way to kick a man when he's dead, Nick.
Oh, and also kicking him too is Patman, who says he died with an aura of doom around his entire everything. He was in a dark spot, Bubba. All right, let's keep going. Sir Criston Cole fought with a handkerchief around his sword hilt and
his pride around his ankles.
Oh, man.
Blink Hog Throb. Boy, we're getting with Batman. You know what? All these listeners are going on to the match game in real life. This is incredible. Orange Game.
Said with a woman's arrow around his cheekbone, Bubba. That's matching you and I.
Way to diss that's Black Alley's arrow, a woman. Come on, give her a name. Now, Chico Bail Bonds, who's at the Alien Factor on Blue Sky, they are new to giving answers, I'm pretty sure. So they gave me one I didn't quite understand. A handkerchief around his sword hilt and coleslaw. Do you get this, Catfish? I don't know what
I don't know. Is it coal around his slew? I don't even know, Bubba.
That could be.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't even know. All right, but the Uncle Q said he died with arrows around his spleen.
Wow,
I love it. All right. And Jackson Kohler said he died with absolutely no face protection around his two-timing, royally kissing ass, dirt-covered face.
Ouch.
Man, people are giving it. And Cam Shea brings it the best.
We're saving
this
the worst.
This is so good.
Oh, Cam Shea,
Criston Cole fought with a handkerchief around his sword hilt and air around his brain.
This the meanest, cruelest.
Oh, so good. Oh, so good. All right, Bubba, we have some feedback here. TC Bramblett just says the only thing worth needing to say, we could just repeat this for an entire podcast.
Hell yeah.
TC says, long live Joffrey.
Heck yeah. A great listener who's given us feedback on a lot of great podcasts, Tinker Bell, but the bells are 2 1s on YouTube, wanted to debate what we talked about last week, Catfish. We talked about when Criston Cole was kind of like going on his death march and stating his purpose.
Yeah, it sure was.
We said, hey, is Criston becoming cool? And Tinkerbell wrote, Criston Cole wasn't a cool hero to me. He was more like that suicidal pilot who took a whole plane full of passengers with him when he died. Cole was moping and wallowing in self-pity. He broke all his oaths of honor. He had no family, no purpose. He just wants to die. But I love the speech Larys gave to Aegon, who was also moping and pitying himself and blaming the world for misfortunes brought upon him, just like Criston Cole. I think somebody needed to give Criston Cole that kind of speech. So maybe she's saying, Gwaine, why didn't you give Criston Cole some of the tough love that Larys gave Aegon? Wonderful feedback. Catfish, do you want to comment on any of this? Because you were the one who really thought, boy, Criston Cole is turning around in episode 5.
You know what? I am totally sold by this argument. I really am. In fact, earlier in this episode, I was like, I'm surprised he didn't die like a hero. He seemed like he was getting it together, although then I also said while still being a patsy. So I'm really on this, and I think it's a shame that Larys wasn't around so that he could stand over Criston Cole's dead body and give him that speech. He still needs to hear it.
Yeah, stand over him as he's dead and then go look at these ice cold feet.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at this. All right, Bubba, we got some feedback on this episode, episode 6. Our good buddy Patman says
Patman.
Sir Criston Cole's suicide mission ended up with him meeting his end, but of course, without much glory.
Nope.
Although he says, to be fair, he took out the guys playing possum than one might expect. Patman says, my wife and friends, we love Miss Patman too.
Yeah.
Who were over to see the episode as a communal experience, all gasped in surprise when Cole took the first arrow and gasped on the second arrow.
Whoa.
And then yelled on the third arrow to the face. Oh. It was a pretty effective surprise ending for a guy who was otherwise coded to go out in a blaze of glory.
Oh, yes.
But I want to talk about the guys who signed up for 2 suicide missions. The Rivermen who pretended to be dead to draw out Cole's forces, and Rhaenyra's troops who posted Baratheons to try and assassinate Daemon and Ormund.
Yep.
Seems like the Rivermen, despite getting a cool surprise on Cole's men and had the good fortune to take out some members of the Hightower troops, they didn't have the numbers to survive the encounter.
Nope.
Anyway, I'll pull one out for these poor guys.
Pour it out.
And then he says, Rhaenyra's assassination team, did they have a plan to escape after stabbing Daemon and his uncle?
Nah.
I'm surprised Rhaenyra had a cadre of committed murderers willing to just walk into an enemy stronghold to make a hit. I can only imagine that Rhaenyra talked privately to each assassin and made crazy promises. Just have any gold, but maybe she secretly promised Harrenhal to each guy. I guess each guy figured if he could outrun his buddies and jump into the Mandarin, he'd be free and clear.
Yeah.
Daemon, murdering innocents, that's a move that Mysaria is stealing. How dare. Maybe he's saying Mysaria and Daemon, maybe they'll get back together.
Now, if you watch the episode closely, when Rhaenyra approaches the Baratheon men who show up in King's Landing, she has 2 Queen's Guard members behind her. One of those Queen's Guard members is there in Dumbleton and gets his throat slashed by my boy Gwaine. So, I guess if you're a Queen's Guard and the Queen sends you on a suicidal mission, you go.
Well, that was the only thing that I sort of disagree with Patman, because she says they were Rhaenyra's troops. They didn't pose as Baratheons, weren't they? They were actually Baratheons.
No. In King's Landing, they were actually Baratheons. The people who went to Ormond were her troops. They
weren't the same people. All right,
no,
fine.
No. All right. Now, on episode 5, we got a lot of feedback. Yizzle80 said episode 5 should have been titled Truth Hurts. There was a whole lot of unfiltered truth being passed around, and it felt like Game of Thrones earlier seasons. I almost forgot that it wasn't Game of Thrones. It was a different show. I can't believe it. This is what T. Yizzle says, Catfish. He says, I'm rooting for Aegon now. Catfish, do you have some warmth in your heart for Team Green King Aegon?
You know what? I got to give it to him. After the whole Thailand thing, Aegon gets a little smile on his face like, you know what? Before I would have killed you for this, but you know what? That's a good chuckle. So you know what? That's growth for Aegon. He is. I am starting to get, I always have to make this kind of joke when I talk about Aegon. I'm getting warmer feelings for him, but I'm not hot on him.
Oh boy, yeah, please. Never make
All right. Dennis Christos says about episode 5, another fine-tuned transition episode. It combined a who and how done it and laid in mosaic piece scenes that moved character arcs in the plot forward. Kudos to director Nina Lopez Corrado, who, according to the BTS docu, filmed some of it under pretty adverse conditions, and to Philippa Goslett, who wrote it. 9 out of 10 triple E's.
Triple E's.
Exceptional, extraordinary effort. We're witnessing what was possible for Ryan Condal's teams to accomplish when he didn't have to contend with a writer's strike and a production budget slashed by 2 episodes. And it's freaking glorious.
Dennis, I am down on episode 6, but I believe that these final 2 episodes are going to be great, and I'm going to agree with you at the end of this season. Carol Troso said, I am most shocked for the Feast for Traitors scene. It was so chilling. And I feel like if that's how the Greens do things, I'd rather be with the Blacks. Whoa. I appreciate the single-minded determination for Criston Cole to prove himself. he's no one's lackey, and inspire ballads to be written about his bravery in honor of Alicent. Also, I appreciate it because of the implications, Ormond. Classic.
Oh,
Love
classic.
It, love it.
You know what? I would just disagree. I usually agree with Carioso,
Yep.
but if that's how the Greens do things,
Yeah.
I definitely want to be a green and not a
You
black.
want to win. You want to win, right?
I don't want to have that done to me.
No.
All right, at DV said this was episode 5 was a nice episode, maybe because there wasn't much of Team Black in it. Whoa.
Team Green DV.
I just loved all the cats running around, but much more wasn't going well for poor Rhaenyra.
Nope.
I'm Team Aegon this week.
Here we
After
go.
kissing that booty, he seems to be getting himself together. Great bromance there as well. And now, as I said,
Thruple.
Exactly. All right. Arda Floyd says, I'm really looking forward to hearing your version of Sansa's ghost in Harrenhal communicating with Alice and Aemon. Go ahead.
Oh, Prince Aemond, your one blue eye just blew me away. Oh, do you have any delicious ale like my great King Joffrey? He always used to give me ale on the King's Road, if you know what I mean. And what I mean is he would give me drinks of ale because I'm underage. Hello, I'm here all week, folks.
Well, thanks a lot for that, Arda. Okay. All right. Go ahead with Conrado.
Here we go. He goes, guys, I appreciate your podcast. English is not my native language, so it's hard for me to translate some of my ideas. He says, I really miss structure in this series. It feels like some immature people wrote the scenario of the story. There are no well-rounded characters, especially the men who hold titles, king or prince. So, okay, let's just run through them. There's King Aegon. He's maybe, he's growing maybe because he's living through these hard times. Prince Aemond, he's maybe, kind of growing because he's going through hard times. Prince Darren seems pretty well-rounded. Prince Daemon makes a lot of dumb mistakes. But yeah.
Yeah, he's a bad guy.
How about Prince Joffrey, who all through 2 episodes, all he does is sleep. So Prince Joffrey's got the best right now.
He's got my favorite.
Oh, but
no, but he does miss Otto. He says he was the only one making really good decisions, or maybe I don't remember something.
He said King Viserys also wasn't so bad, and Ormond seems to do the best he can. And I appreciate that. Well, if you talk about it from strategy, forget all of the motivation and ridiculousness Ormond says. If you look at Ormond's strategy, some of it has been really good. It has been effective.
Absolutely.
Strategy, yes. God, I always mess up your name.
Conrado.
Conrad says Alicent is well-rounded as well. But, no, he thinks Team Black is a group of spoiled kids. Daemon's always talking about conquering the world. He barely knew what was going on in the city. He says, Rhaenyra and I am thinking about, oh, my God, add this to Rhaenyra and I thinking of how it's possible these 2 knuckleheads took the throne. Okay, so, oh, no. He ends this feedback saying, I lost faith in these series after the first season. And I don't believe they can pull it off. Well, I am not there. I know there's some wonkiness, especially in this episode, but I still have faith. You just heard me. I think the final 2 episodes are going to be great. So hopefully you're going to stick with us and stick with the show.
All right, Bubba. Wendy Mills said another great episode 5, 9 out of 10 for me. And she said, yes, Criston Cole is great again.
Whoa, Wendy.
And she had the answer to match game 1 is that Torn Manual should really be named the Bitchmaster General.
Hey, no.
And her match game 2 answer is, are we sure Ormond isn't really Trump? And goes on to say, on that note, although I'm from the UK, I really wish that someone in your country had the balls of Lara Strong to tell Trump what exactly a terrible human being he really is.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Shots fired, Wendy. Very good. Very good.
Nice job, Wendy.
Hey, we are going to have what I call a non-spoiler book talk. And let me give you, if you want to stick around, the idea of the book talk will be like it. I'll say this. I'll say, based on the cast who appeared in episode 6, this many of those characters are going to die by the end of the series, meaning by the end of season 4 in the final episode. And so if you don't like spoilers like that, please jump away. But if you can take, kind of vague spoilers like that say, oh, wait, a certain number of people are going to die, please join us in the book spoiler. If you're jumping away now, my name's Bubba. You can find me on social media at Fit and Trim. That's FITTENTRIM, at Fit and Trim on social media.
And my name is Catfish. You can hit me up at G to the Man. That's GEETOTHEMAN on Instagram and Blue Sky. And we'll talk to you next time on the Joffrey of Podcasts.
I'm telling Mother.
What kind of three-way do you need? What if it's Alice, a weirwood tree, and a...
I'm telling Mother.
All right, guys, I'm going to have a real quick book club. And let me say, number one, R.I.P. Criston Cole. If you listen to any book club spoiler about this episode, everybody's going to be heartbroken that the most famous line from the death scene of Criston Cole in the book Fire and Blood didn't make it to the show. A character named Pate of Longleaf, who admittedly isn't a character in the show either, tells Criston Cole right before he dies, hey, Criston, who Criston had offered to fight 3 men, not 2 like he did on the show, but Criston Cole was like, hey, I guess we'll fight. If you got 3 of your men, they can come and fight me. That should be fair. And this character, Sir Pate, says, I'll have no songs about how brave you died, Kingmaker. So many people love that line. The show didn't use it. Some people are heartbroken. But if you watch the behind the scenes, which is a video about the actor, Fabian Frankel, and him leaving the show as Criston Cole, he really wanted it to be truthful to the book. So even though they didn't have that scene, that line of dialogue that everybody loves from the book, it was very similar. Now I want to get to the point I made at the very beginning. There are only 10 episodes. That's right, 10 episodes left in this entire series, and then the series is over. Based on the characters who appeared in episode 6, and note that Adam did not appear in episode 6, but in this episode, 16 of the named characters, I don't mean extras, but 16 of the named characters in this episode 6 of season 3 are going to be dead by the final episode of season 4 and the final episode of the series. So just doing the math, at least one character is going to have to die every episode, and then many episodes will have to have more than one die to get all 16 of these characters to be dead by the end of the show. And what I'm calling the end of the show, if you know, there really is a long cleanup process about at the end of Fire and Blood. So what I'm saying is kind of like to when the throne is kind of settled for a good bit of time, to get to that point, 16 of these named characters on the show would die. And let me also point out that based on how the story goes, these characters are going to start dying out of order. And so I'll say this, and I consider this no spoiler, even though it's a hint if you have read the books. I believe in the very next episode, a character is going to take a big fall, if you know what I mean. And that's how the next episode's going to end, would be my guess. Episode 7 of season 3. And so, yeah, these characters and the characters you love, if they're on that death list of 16 characters have to die, not going to be too pretty. Now, if you've been watching the show and you haven't read the books, you can tell that a big battle is going to happen at Tumbleton. The one thing that I don't think is a spoiler, hopefully you agree, is that there are actually 2 battles in Tumbleton. A first battle, and then what they call the second Battle of Tumbleton. Some online fans are predicting that with only 10 episodes left, the 2 battles in the book may be combined into one battle on the show. And I'm going to say that could happen, but I don't actually think that's going to happen. The show made a major investment. If you watch any behind-the-scenes marketing on House of the Dragon Season 3, you'll see that the show built a giant Tumbleton set, meaning they built the front gate that you saw in this episode as you and the fake Baratheons walk through. Plus, they built a lot of cities and like a square where in this episode, Daeron was doing that sword training. All of that has been built. And so you could say, well, they just built it for season 3. I don't think so. I think they want that investment to be amortized over the 2 seasons. And so I think there are going to be 2 big Tumbleton battles. And I think the first one will be episode 10 of this season. So I'm saying that you're going to see that be the second Tumbleton battle in season 4. Now, let me say that one of the other reasons why I say, they're going to do it is just the story. Too much happens in the 2 battles to really make it one single battle. Plus, in season 4, based on the way the story is now, the second Tumbleton battle would be the only real battle in season 4. And what I mean is, okay, there's other things that happen in the end of this story, including a giant dragon versus dragon battle and a disaster that happened in King's Landing, but those aren't battles. And so I think you want a battle in your final season, and I think it'll be the second Battle of Tumbleton. Now, if you know the story, there are two other battles, which just by the names of them, I don't think they give anything away, non-book readers. But there's the Battle of the King's Road. I don't think the show will show it at all. I think it will be very similar to how season 3, episode 1, the first episode of this season had. We cut to the Rivermen and the Winter Wolves, and they had defeated the Lannisters, and they're like, hey, we beat them. I think that's how the show will handle the Battle of the King's Road in season 4, if they even refer to it, even if they do that much. There's another battle at the end of this civil war called the Hour of the Wolf. And again, I really doubt that the show would do a full battle for a full, scale battle for that battle. I think they'd probably do it like this episode. This episode had the fight with Criston Cole and his death happening in about 6 minutes. If the show does the Hour of the Wolf, at the most, I think it'd be that level of investment, about 6 minutes to show, hey, a fight happened, and then cut, and you learn who won. So because of that, the fourth season needs a battle. I think it's going to be the second Battle of Tumbleton. The final thing I want to talk about in this book non-spoiler spoiler part is that Rhaena, in the books, Rhaena goes to Pentos, goes with the final two of Rhaenyra's children to be in Essos for the whole war. And in the show, they've made Rhaena have a lot of stuff that a book character named Nettles does. And what's funny is the showrunners said, we're doing this because we have this actress who plays Rhaena. If she, leaves, she's got, she's going to be off the show for 2 seasons while the war happens. And then maybe at the end, she would come back from Pentos. And so the showrunner was like, well, we got this great actress. Let's have her do something. And what I find a bit crazy is that they've given her this character, Nettles' storyline. And right now she's stuck and she's not doing anything, right? Like, how many episodes has she been in this cave and been miserable? And so it's like, hey, we're going to let the actress who plays Rhaena do this storyline so she'll have something to do. And it really feels like for a good number of episodes, she hasn't had anything to do. So I'm asking that and saying that kind of because I want you guys to participate on this. I think there really haven't been book spoilers in this, unless you don't want to know, the number of characters who die or the names of a battle. But either way, what do you think about Rhaena? What do you think she will do in these final 2 episodes? I assume the only logical thing is that Rhaenyra is going to find out about her. So we've got that coming. What do you think will happen? Go down in the comments and let me know. And as always, thank you guys so much for listening, watching on YouTube, subscribing. We love you guys so much, and we're always happy to be with you. Talk to you next week.